Chairman Eisner, members of the board, fellow honorees Paul Schechtman and Rabbi Lichtenstein, and friends and colleagues who have joined us here this evening for this wonderful celebration in Prospect Park. Welcome to everyone who is gathered here tonight to celebrate yet another year of successful operations of the Dror organization. First and foremost, I want to say that when my dear friend Eli Moskowitz and his friends and colleagues came from the Dror organization to tell me that I would be selected to be one of the honorees this evening, I was deeply moved and honored to receive recognition from an organization that I hold in high regard. I think it was some 5 years ago when I was introduced to the work of the Dror organization by someone who I've come to know and respect tremendously, and that's Eli Moskowitz. And what I learned about the Dror organization was that they filled a great void in the community, and they filled it in a compassionate way. Being a criminal defense lawyer and someone who was involved in the criminal justice system myself on both sides, both as a federal prosecutor and a criminal defense attorney for almost 25 years, I am familiar with the kind of vulnerable nature that people are left in when they're accused of a crime and accused of wrongdoing. And I'm also keenly aware that it affects not just the individual accused, but his or her entire family, spouses, children, parents. And while we as lawyers try to do all we can to allay the fears and concerns of the individual who stands accused of a crime, we're oftentimes not fully equipped to handle the larger picture, and that is the vulnerability, the fear, the concern of the unknown by not just the person accused, but his or her entire family. And that's where Dror steps in, and through the great work of Eli Moskowitz and the other members of this organization, they come in and they step in and they protect the members of the community who are accused of wrongdoing. And not just protect the members, but they protect the entire family, and they basically endeavor to meet all of the needs of those family members, whether they're spiritual needs, practical needs, and just basically trying to alleviate the fear of the unknown, of the uncharted waters, of somebody experiencing many times what can be a hostile nature of the criminal justice system. And I think that in the years that have progressed, as Dror has progressed through the years, I should say, they have even broadened their scope and their horizon, not just to be reactive to when someone is wrongfully accused, but to also be proactive. And I think it's an integral part of their organization's work. I think we all have seen many examples in the world that there are people that are wrongly accused at times. There are people who don't intend to break the law or who are ignorant of the law. And what I learned through working and representing individuals in the community and through working with Eli Moskowitz and the Dror organization, I've learned that sometimes the most well-intentioned of people will run afoul of the law. And unfortunately for them, ignorance of the law is no defense. We as lawyers know that, but oftentimes lay people do not. Everybody makes mistakes in life. None of us here can say we haven't. And what the organization has done now has gone out in a proactive way, and I've participated in some of these forums, and one of them that occurred about a year ago was all the Gamak associations came together in Brooklyn, and the room was packed. There had to be close to 250, 300 people there. And they were there because they wanted to learn about the ever-evolving and constantly changing laws and regulations that govern the day-to-day activities of businessmen, people who have pure intentions to earn a living and support their families, but who may be unfamiliar with the intricacies in the regulatory framework of a post-9/11 global economy, and do not want to run afoul of the law. And I think that it's an invaluable service to the community, that they could bring together the professionals from the various walks of life, whether it be banking, finance, criminal law, to present a lecture to the entire group of Gamak associations that didn't include just folks, Gamak associations from New York, but from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, so that they can be educated and so that they could be preventative and not find themselves on the back end of needing the help of an organization like Dror once you stand accused or indicted or accused of a crime by the government, and now you have to react to it. Not that that's also not a valuable service that they provide, because it is, because you have to be matched up with the right attorney. You may need a counselor, you may need an expert witness, and this is something that Dror does, is they bring together not just the right people, but the compassionate people and the right skill set with the right talent to address that particular case. I think there's so much more I could say about the organization, but I want to conclude by saying I was honored again to be chosen as a recipient or an honoree tonight of this Community Service Award. And I want to tell you that it gives me a great feeling of accomplishment and a sense of peacefulness, that I've been able to help people in a meaningful way. And I intend to help in more ways going forward, because it is satisfying, particularly as a criminal defense lawyer, to be able to impact somebody's life in a positive and real meaningful way. And I would encourage all of you out there today who are at this wonderful occasion to seriously consider donating, if you haven't yet. If you have, then increasing your thoughts about giving more time, energy, and resources to this organization, which serves very deserving members of the community. And thank you all for coming tonight.